My favorite auto-enter feature is auto-entering a calculation. This is by far the most versatile auto-enter, but it's also the most complex. So we're actually going to delve into calculations just briefly. I know we're not talking about them until later, but I want to give you a little kind of plant the seed, give you an idea before we get there, and we'll cover this stuff again. But it makes sense because we're in auto-enter. Let's cover the calculation. We can do a real simple auto-enter calculation here, which is great. You won't be left wondering, well, what's that auto-enter calculation feature? We'll do it right now. Plus, we'll just introduce you to calculations. So what we're going to do is we're going to say whenever we enter billing information, I want it automatically auto-entered into our shipping. Sounds like a great feature. We also want to be able to override that. So it may, when we initially create the record, put Bob and Wilford into these two fields, but we want to be able to change that in case the shipping information is different. So let's go into Manage Database, and we're going to start with our first field, which is Company and Company Shipping. We actually want to go to Company Shipping because that's the one that wants the result of the auto-enter calc. We're going to go into Options, and here is your calculated value right here. You check on it, and it brings up this very complex dialog. I'm very familiar with it because I've been using it for a long time. If this is the first time you've seen it, don't get worried. Don't go out and stop using FileMaker. You'll get used to it, and we're going to cover it in a very basic way and kind of step yourself up the stairs rather than trying to make you jump from the bottom of the stairs up to the top right away. We'll cover it very basically, but I'm going to give you an overview right now of all the contents here. Not all of it. We're going to skip a couple things, but for the most part, to make you feel more comfortable. Right down here is where you enter your calculation formula. And if you've used Excel, you'll be familiar with calculation formulas. Excel allows you to say, add this cell and that cell, and it has lots of functions and things like that. And FileMaker just has a more extensive area to type in your calculation function. And whatever this calculation comes out to be is the result that goes into the field in this auto-enter. And you can combine inside this area fields, operators. Here's some more operators in a scrolling list, and here's a ton of functions. Now there are tons of them here. I mean, there's just so many. You're going, wow, I wonder if I can learn all these. Well, think about it. You won't need to learn all of them. Are you going to need to know how to do the LG? I don't even know what an LG is. I know it's trigonometric, but that's about it. Do I need to know how to do an ACOS? No. An A-sign? No. Those are all trigonometric, so mathematicians might need those. But you will use case all the time. So we'll help you identify what are the most important calculation functions and show you how to use them. Because you use 10% of these calculation functions 90% of the time. And some things over here may be familiar. Have your division, your multiplication, minus, plus. That's because you can do things like add and subtract. But you can also concatenate, which would be adding two fields together, like first and last name to make full name. We can put in static text with those quotes, a return character. We can bracket things if we want. We have less than, greater than for comparisons and all these other ands and XORs and things. And then we have all of our fields. So combining these together can get you some interesting results. We're going to do something very, very simple here. We're just going to use this section right here. We're going to scroll down and find the company field. And before we do that, make sure you look here. It says company underscore S equals. Whatever we put down in here is what the calculation is going to equal. So make sure you double check this stuff to make sure. I've many times gone into my field and put an auto enter on and found out, oh, that's the wrong field. So double check things. And to get it to auto enter whatever you put in the company into the shipping company, you just double click on the field. It puts it down here for you, and that's the whole formula. You can actually do an extremely simple formula and have amazing results. So we'll click OK. Click OK again. You'll see that it's an auto-enter calc. We'll click OK again. And again, it does not happen on existing records. Auto-enter, just like an auto-enter serial number, an auto-enter calc is the same way. It only happens on new records. But it'll also happen in this case whenever you go ahead and type something in and this field is empty. Once this has a value in it, and there are exceptions to this, but once this has a value in it, then the auto-enter stops. You can take the value out, and then when you modify the field it's based on, it will auto-enter again. But we'll actually show you this when we go into the next section and show you all the details about how this auto-enter calc actually works.